WBNG-12 sports team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Thank you for starting your Saturday with us once again alongside Kyle, Spisak, and Kevin Quinn. I am Zach Grady, and this is the Southern Tier Kickoff Show. Joining us as well today live from outside the JMA Wireless Dome will be 12 Sports' Michael Villegas. Michael, along with the rest of the STK team, will be taking you live every week to a different game across the Southern Tier to get a pulse of what's going on right at the ground level. And we can't quite take the whole show to the stadium like the other guys do, but we'll be taking you there all year, whether it's Syracuse, Penn State, Cornell, Colgate, Cortland. And Kyle, I'm going to throw it to you here. I know you're excited for one of these games as we're headed to. What game are you most looking forward to this season?
Probably it's got to be Ohio State versus Penn State. I mean, this has been a game that for years now, Ohio State has just dominated Penn State year in, year out. They're never able to get over that hump of beating either Ohio State or Michigan. They don't have Michigan on the schedule this year, but Ohio State is going down to Happy Valley, so you already know that environment's going to be absolutely packed, electric. It's going to be unlike anything we've seen in years down in Happy Valley. Yeah, looking forward to that one. And, of course, Happy Valley will be hosting the Whiteout game, which we will be at live later on this season. Kevin, same question. What are you looking forward to this year?
So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Let's go to the D3 level, the defending champion Cortland Red Dragons. I know we'll get into them a little bit later in the show, but just seeing that title defense, good atmosphere for D3 football, and having, you know, a top-of-the-nation caliber program right here in the Southern Tier, definitely something to be excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited, and as Kevin mentioned, we are going to get into that in a little bit. But Kevin, why don't we start off in Syracuse? Tell us, what can we look forward to today with the Orange?
Yeah, looking ahead to one of our top games this afternoon, the Syracuse Orange with a challenge this week, playing both a conference foe and a ranked team as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets come to CNY. This Georgia Tech team stunned Florida State in Dublin to open the college football season and picked up another win against Georgia State. Cuse looking to avenge their home loss last season to the Yellow Jackets, a game where they only produced 50 yards of total passing, but now they have Kyle McCord under center, who had a career high in passing yards week 1. For the Orange, they'll be missing star linebacker Marlo Wax, as he's projected to be out for the next 6 weeks. The Orange looking for the upset and to remain undefeated in the Fran Brown era. And looking into some keys to the game for the Orange, they're going to need to stop the run. Syracuse allowed 255 yards on the ground last week to Ohio, and this is a Georgia Tech offense that can hurt you on the ground, not just with their running backs, but with their quarterback as well. They'll also need to take care of the football. It was a great game through the air for the Orange last week, but there was some luck involved, only walking away with that one turnover. They'll need to kill the clock as well. Georgia Tech's ground game and defense could lead to them having long drives, but the more the Orange control the football, the less chances the Yellow Jackets will have to make them pay. Head coach Fran Brown saying before the game, there was one word on the mind when watching last week's film.
We just got to be more physical, you know, and then we playing against Georgia Tech, who's going to show you need to be more physical. They're physical. We just got to be more physical. We ain't going to really change anything, be more physical, and just come up and tackle, you know, take one more step and make tackles. So I think it was just a physicality piece. Just guys, first time getting the goals, a little bit of jitters, but if you go and watch a little bit of the game, we kind of got out of it, get back into it. So I think it's just jitters.
All right. Jitters and physicality. Those were the two things that he talked about. I know that they can work through those jitters, especially as they're moving past the Fran Brown era. But, Kevin, how did they bring that physicality today against Georgia Tech?
I think it's all going to be about stopping that run game, stepping up, make sure you're making the tackles, not letting these running backs slip through. Georgia State with a very talented running back on the ground, as well as their QB who can really, really get it going. I think one good thing for the Orange is this team winning versus Florida State week 1 might have scared them a little bit, but that second Florida State loss to Boston College might have eased the tensions a little bit for the Orange.
All right, Kyle, you know, as we're talking about the Orange here, is there a little bit of an overreaction? Is this offense that good, or is this just kind of, you know, it was an Ohio team that was bouncing back? Can we expect that same offensive output in game 2 with Fran Brown?
I mean, if you watch the game, you could really just see Kyle McCord throws the ball like nobody has ever thrown it at Syracuse before. He throws a tight spiral. He's able to lead his receivers exactly where he puts the ball where only his receivers can get it. He's not putting it in an area where it's a contested ball. He's making it easy for guys to go out like Arande Gadsden to be able to get up there and get the ball. And then even Trevor Pena, I mean, he was more of a slot receiver role. 2 touchdowns, played a huge role in last week's game, was really able to get the ball running. And if they can keep that level of offense, I don't think there's much of an overreaction.
Awesome, awesome. And hey, you know, we can give you as much information as we can here from the studio, but let's go live right now to the JMA Wireless Dome and get what's going on at ground level. Our own 12 Sports' Michael Villegas is there. Michael, I know you're getting ready to go into the game starting at noon. What's happening in Syracuse right now?
Yeah, guys, it's a little bit wet and rainy out here, but that's not stopping people from coming out to see this Georgia Tech and Syracuse Orange game. Both of these teams really looking to make a statement in this ACC conference. Georgia coming off an underdog win in the opening game against Florida State, shocking the world, and then they follow that up with another win going 2-0. But the Syracuse Orange also making a statement as they won their last game 38-22 over Ohio. Now, Syracuse head coach Fran Brown saying that he likes what he saw from his team last game, but they wish they had a quicker start. He wanted to see them getting off the ball a little bit faster. Now, new quarterback Kyle McCord threw for 4 touchdowns in that one. Trevor Pena also showing out for the Syracuse Orange. And Syracuse did lose a captain and starter in linebacker Marlo Wax last game. He'll be out for 6 weeks, and that's going to be a big blow for this Syracuse Orange team, with a Georgia Tech team that's been running the ball day and night. The head coach saying after the win against Florida State, run the damn ball. That's all they want to do. They went 190 yards in their first game, 225. So it's going to be really important for the Syracuse Orange to stop that run. We'll have all the highlights later tonight right here on WBNG. But until then, I'll throw it back to you guys right here in Onondaga County. I'm Michael Villegas, 12 Sports.
All right, awesome, Mike. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you across the Southern Tier the rest of this season. And speaking of the rest of this season, Kyle, I know Penn State is looking forward to a long and hopefully college football playoff-led season. What's going on down in Happy Valley?
Yeah, I mean, week 2 brings a return to Happy Valley for the Penn State Nittany Lions, and in their home opener against Bowling Green Falcons last week, Penn State shut down critics, putting on a dominant display in Morgantown, shredding apart the Mountaineers secondary, and Nick Singletary was back to his freshman form after a sophomore slump last season. The Nittany Lions also made a huge strides when it comes to their receiver core, with Harrison Wallace III scoring 2 touchdowns with 117 yards on 5 receptions. The Falcons started off on a good note after a rough last season, beating Fordham 41-17. Terrion Stewart led the charge for the Falcons with 161 yards and 3 touchdowns on 14 carries. Despite the large run game Bowling Green put on last week, it will be a much tougher feat going into the trenches of Beaver Stadium this week. And the keys to today's matchup for Penn State will be, like James Franklin said, staying disciplined before and after the play, getting the ball into Singleton's hands and letting him get downhill. And last, Bowling Green does their damage on the ground, so selling out to the rush will help Penn State dominate this game. Penn State coach James Franklin stressed limiting discipline penalties on this week's press conference.
The biggest thing is penalties. And when I talk about penalties, as you guys have heard me say before, it's not necessarily the penalties that happen during the play. It's the pre-snap penalties and the post-snap penalties. Those are the ones that you got to clean up because they're focus and discipline penalties. But that's probably the biggest thing from a player's perspective.
All right, we're going to get into this more later when we do our picks. But real quick, Kyle, I know you mentioned some keys to the game. What's the biggest thing that Penn State needs to do to keep rolling offensively this week?
They just got to get the ball in Singleton's hands, allow him to get downfield. In last week's game against West Virginia, he kind of showed that prowess he showed his freshman year, reaching 21 miles per hour on one of his runs. If he can get open in the field and he can really get downhill, he's unstoppable. It's the matter of opening up the gaps in the line where he can break through and get downhill and really just show that speed and blow defenders away.
All right, and Kevin, likewise, defensively, they put on a performance against West Virginia. How do they keep that up?
Well, I think the best thing is to keep your defense off the field. When you have a smaller conference school, especially coming into Penn State, what you need to think is do run the football, do control that clock, get to an early lead, and just kill all momentum, and then it should be smooth sailing for the Nittany Lions.
Awesome, awesome. And we'll have all of those picks, like I said, later on in the show for both Syracuse and for Penn State. But coming up after the break, we'll take a look at the Cortland Red Dragons as they kick off their season, looking to defend their national championship status. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this break.
This is an urgent notice about ovarian cancer. If you or a loved one were recently diagnosed with ovarian cancer after using Johnson & Johnson baby powder products, you may be entitled to a large cash settlement. Call Legal Injury Advocates now. This free call could lead to the financial compensation you deserve. Plaintiffs' attorneys claim Johnson & Johnson knew their products could cause ovarian cancer, but kept the product on the shelf until 2020. Juries have already awarded billions of dollars in compensation to cancer victims over the use of talcum powder. If you use these talcum powder products for feminine hygiene and were recently diagnosed, you may qualify as well, but you must call to file a claim as soon as possible. Call Legal Injury Advocates now to see if you qualify. You're not alone in this fight, and there is no upfront cost to begin your journey to justice. Call Legal Injury Advocates now to discuss your case. We're available 24 hours a day.
Call 1-800-525-8108 or visit www.lia.legal. That's 1-800-525-8108.
I'm Martha Stewart, and this is one of my new kittens. Of course, I want to give them the happiest, healthiest life possible, which is why I choose Pretty Litter. We love this litter because it's tough on odor and helps keep tabs on their health by changing color to show high, low, and typical pH levels. Pretty Litter is also low dust. And whether you're a new cat parent or a lifelong cat lover like me, this low-maintenance litter is the game changer. Try it today. Go to prettylitter.com.
It's time to put together your team for the 42nd Annual Chow Walk. Ask friends and family to join you on September 21st at the Oakdale Commons from 12 to 4 p.m. to help put a stop to hunger in Broome County. And bring your children for fun family activities throughout the mall. Thanks to your generous donations, Chow distributed 3.2 million pounds of food to families last year, and our goal is to continue the trend of helping those around us for years to come. Go online to broomecouncil.net for sign-up information. The Chow Walk, September 21st at the Oakdale Commons.
Hey, Southern Tier, your favorite season is back, and you don't want to miss out.
High school football is here, and 12 Sports has got it all.
It's going to be a huge game, so just playing with that positive mindset and knowing that you have other boys you can rely on and that have your back throughout the game.
Catch up on every team on the way to kickoff.
I love the physicality of it, being a part of a brotherhood.
You'll feel like you're in the huddle as we hear from coaches, players on the rivalries, strategies, and training.
12 Sports is breaking down all of Section 4 as part of our preseason playbooks.
Weeknights on WBNG.
It took my breath. When I saw it, I fell to my knees.
How to avoid the most common scam of the year and solutions to the real disaster of home insurance.
Getting answers
on the next Investigate TV Plus.
Monday at 4:30.
12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Penn State won last weekend. They're at home this weekend. What is the weather going to look like? And it should be an easy win since they are facing Bowling Green. But let's take a look at that forecast here of what we can expect as we head on in to the afternoon. Taking a look here at our football forecast here, and you'll notice as we head into the kickoff around noon, it's going to be a bit cool. There are going to be some rain showers early on in the day, but I think by the time we reach around noon, we should see those showers start to taper off, looking at temperatures in the lower 60s. Now, the good news is those temperatures do start to rise by halftime, looking at partly and mostly sunny skies, 64 degrees. By the fourth quarter, we are looking at temperatures in the mid-60s. Again, it should be a gorgeous afternoon if you're planning on heading down to Penn State. But in the meantime, if you're not, you can enjoy watching the game at home and hopefully watching a Penn State win.
Connor hitting it on the head last week, calling that lightning delay in the fourth quarter. So thank you once again, Connor Thompson. The Red Dragons are ready to defend its Division III National Championship. Cortland will kick off the 2024 season on the road in an Empire 8 matchup with a new member of the conference. Hilbert is starting up its third year of football as a program and do so hosting the #2 team in the nation. Cortland finished last season with a 14-1 record, including 12 in a row to finish out the year and a win in the Stag Bowl, winning the school its first ever national championship. The Dragons are bringing back their play caller and senior quarterback Zach Boyes. Boyes finished last season with more than 4,000 yards passing, 44 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions on the year. The senior added another 8 touchdowns on the ground and nearly 800 yards as well. Cortland does need to replace his 2 top targets, though. Both Cole Burgess and J.J. Lapp are now playing at the next level. Burgess is currently on the Bengals practice squad, and Lapp spent the summer with the Rams before being waived recently by Los Angeles. Defensively, though, the Dragons have 15 players with significant playing time from last season, including 5 of them on the defensive line. This game is set to start at 1 p.m., that one on the road in Hamburg, New York, at St. Francis High School.
And around the southern tier, the number 20 ranked Ithaca Bombers start their season off against number 8 ranked John Hopkins as the Bombers look to claim their 3rd straight Liberty League title this year. Both teams were with high hopes this year as they'll battle out at 1 p.m. in Ithaca and about an hour and a half east of Ithaca College. Colgate holds their home opener tonight at 6 p.m. in Hamilton against the number 5 ranked Villanova Wildcats in the FCS. This is the first time in 7 years the Raiders are hosting a top 10 FCS team, and this will be the highest ranked team to visit Andy Kerr Stadium since 6th ranked James Madison was upset by Colgate in the 2018 FCS playoffs.
And stay tuned for WBNG for CBS's Game of the Day. College football kicks off this afternoon at 3:30 for a rivalry game as Iowa State travels across the state to take on the Hawkeyes. Iowa entering this one ranked 21st in the nation, and they're looking to keep their undefeated season going. Again, that game kicks off at 3:30 this afternoon right here on WBNG.
And we are going to be back momentarily with our picks for that Iowa State game, as well as some of the top games going on across the country. So make sure you stay tuned as we will finish up the Southern Tier Kickoff with what you guys are waiting for: how to make a little quiche over the weekend. So stay tuned. We will be right back after this break.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet starting at $29.99 a month. Call 1-855-412-7647.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
You've worked hard. Long days. Year after year. Decade after decade. You've seen a lot of things. Enjoyed the good times. And weathered the tough times. You've earned a life that you can call your own, alongside the people you love the most. Retirement worries shouldn't get in the way. But many Americans like you are finding that retiring on a fixed income is harder than they expected. Fortunately, there are thousands of benefits programs that can help. Visit benefitscheckup.org to see if you're among the millions of people eligible for thousands of dollars in benefits to help you age well, so you can focus on what's really important. Benefits Checkup. You've earned this.
Have you ever seen this man before?
Hi. They're a tag team of legal eagles.
My name is Mason.
Ben Matlock. A duo of courtroom commanders.
Are you sure?
And they're both part of the...
Objection. Objection, Your Honor.
Objection. Objection Connection.
Your witness, Mr. Berger.
Gotcha. So put a little habeas in your corpus with Ben and Perry.
Weekdays starting at 9 a.m. on Binghamton's MeTV.
No further questions.
Having a place to call home can be challenging, and some only see it as a dream. But Broome County Habitat for Humanity can turn that dream into a reality, building and providing safe and affordable homes for families right here in Broome County. We believe in giving people a hand up, not a hand out. Our partner families work hard, both building their homes and must meet income eligibility requirements. With every home we build, we create opportunities for families to thrive. Each new home means another family gets the chance to dream bigger, live healthier, and feel safer. It's more than just a house. It's a home filled with the possibilities of tomorrow. We believe in the power of community. Our volunteers come together to build not just homes, but a stronger and more hopeful future. Join us in making a tangible difference. Your time and effort can change lives and transform Broome County. Are you ready to apply for a mortgage or want to learn how you can help? Visit our website or give us a call today. Broome County Habitat for Humanity. Building homes, building community, building hope.
12 Sports Team presents your Southern Tier Kickoff.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you are a Pennsylvania resident, or call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY if you are a resident of New York. Please gamble responsibly. All right, it's that time of week again. The Southern Tier Kickoff crew is going to give you our picks for this weekend's game. We are going to start with Syracuse and Bowling Green. Listen, I am going with Bowling Green on this one. I think Syracuse is going to keep it close, yes, but Bowling Green's defense is going to be able to clamp down on some of those receivers. Pena had good east to west movement, but they really couldn't get the ball downfield. I'm going Georgia Tech here. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the heart over the head. Let's just go with the orange. Good things happen when I pick the orange. Let's keep it up. Go orange.
And I got to go with Syracuse. Diggs had a really rough game transferring in from A&M last week. Got to the guys, just wasn't able to wrap and bring them down. I think he improves this game. McCord's going to be too good. I think it's going to be a close game, but Syracuse will take it.
All right. And as well, our producer, Aaron, he is going with Georgia Tech, so we are split on that game. We are going to move on to the next one, Penn State, Bowling Green. I like Bowling Green in this one, not to win the game, but just to keep it somewhat close. I think Penn State maybe a little bit over-evaluated after a great performance. I'm not saying that they're not great. I just think the money and the line is a little high. I think Vegas might be overreacting a little bit, so I'm going to take the points. Kevin?
I think there's no overreaction possible when a MAC team goes into Happy Valley. I'm taking Penn State.
And I'm taking Penn State. They're going to cover that spread. They're going to blow that spread out of the water. I think this is going to be a 52-10 game. Aller looked good. Defense was locked down.
Maybe get the correct score bet there.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to start getting those in. Someone has said that they want to know what we think, and we will get those for you as well. We'll get those up on our website, so don't forget to check WBNG.com for all of these picks after the Southern Tier Kickoff show is done. All right, we move on to Game 3, Michigan versus Texas. Look, Michigan's having quarterback issues. I do think that they have the bigger, better offensive and defensive lines, but Texas has got more athletes, and they're faster, they're quicker, and again, that issue at quarterback is where it comes down to it. I think this one is close for most of the game, but as we get into the fourth quarter, the stamina, Texas will take over. I think they cover the touchdown spread.
Yeah, the first time that Michigan is a home underdog since 2021 here. I think what this comes down to, like you said, Michigan has quarterback issues, and on the Texas side, there's no one who's played in as many big games in college football right now as Quinn Ewers. I think got to go with Texas.
And you got to go with Texas, in my opinion. They have 4 offensive linemen returning who are 3-year starters. That's unheard of in college football nowadays. And then we talked about Michigan. They do have QB issues. They weren't able to get the run going either. Edwards was held really not able to run anywhere last week. Will Johnson had more yards from a pick-6 return than Edwards did all game. So I think Texas takes this one.
Yeah, and Aaron as well, our producer, I believe he's going to make it a clean sweep. Yeah, 4 across the board for Texas, an SEC team this year, which is a little bit of a shocking change. Iowa State. This is your game of the day here on WBNG. This one kicks off at 3:30. Coverage starts at 3 o'clock with the CBS pregame show. Listen, Iowa, 4 years, has been known to be punt city. Their punter has had more net yardage than their quarterbacks over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. the under has always been the bet when it comes to Iowa. Things are changing, though. I mean, that Iowa offense last week looked really good, and that's a really, really good team if they can do something offensively, because their defense has been on point, has been a solid Big Ten defense. I'm going to go ahead and take Iowa, and shockingly, I'm going to take the over in this game as well.
Yeah, I got to agree with you here, Zach. I got to take Iowa. And the reasoning here, that offense, I trust it. I think it may be more alive. They didn't play the best opponent in the world last weekend, but a fun stat, they had more receiving touchdowns in the second half of last week's game than they had all of last season.
Yeah, they've had wide receivers who have more touchdowns than all of their wide receivers last year combined. It's incredible. We're one game in, and their wide receiver with 2 touchdowns could be the leading receiver from last year. Kevin, or Kyle, what do you think?
And I got to go with Iowa in the Cy-Hawk rivalry that's going on today. I mean, their defense is just too good. They're top 4 or 5 defense in the nation every single year. I mean, yeah, Cade McNamara did get chased out of Ann Arbor by Harbaugh, but he seemed to find his footing a little bit last week. 21 for 31, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns. Was that against UTEP? Yes, but a good improvement from the man who used to be behind center back in Michigan.
Okay, real quick. We're going to get through these last 2, Colorado and Nebraska. I like Nebraska here with the points. Look, Colorado should have gotten beaten.
I would say, first take, tune into this game. It's going to be a very high-scoring matchup. Dylan Raiola and Shedeur Sanders under center. Both of those guys, fun style of play for quarterbacks. I'll take Colorado here. Trust Deion Sanders, trust the offense, and just hope for a shootout.
All right, and real quick.
I mean, it's going to be a shootout, but I got to go with Colorado on this. Travis Hunter's too good. He plays both sides of the ball, and he's too good at both sides of the ball. He's going to be the biggest factor in this game.
Okay, we also picked South Carolina versus Kentucky, which if you head on over to our WBNG homepage right after the show, all of our picks will go up there from all 7 members of the crew, including Connor, our producer, Aaron, as well Kyle Spisak, Kevin, Keith Savage, can't forget about him, and Michael Villegas. As well, the standings from last week are updated on there. I believe Aaron and Michael are in first place. But kickoff in about 10 seconds. So make sure you tune in at 3:30 here on WBNG and watch whatever game you want here at noon. But enjoy, and thank you for joining us.